It does.
Mhm. Carl's still writing stories. They're bringing M. Bison back in Street Fighter 6, baby. So he's
Yeah,
gonna be
I
a
knew that.
notable character. Yeah, that's a big. Yeah, still going. I'm ready to. We'll start with Apple and work our way down. Thanks for Kai.
Never a problem. And here we go.
Hello, nerds. Welcome to GeekBeast, part of the Geekish Network. This is your daily rundown of geek news by geeks like you. Get into our show. We cover the geek news beat. I'm your host, Chuck. And when we got Rakai. Say what's up to people, Rakai.
Hello, Governor.
Well, Rakai, we're in the middle of announcement season. And if you are under a rock, if you did not know, Apple did WWDC today.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the Worldwide
World
Developers Conference.
Development Conference. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what that was. Yeah.
And
Come on with it.
Apple,
Hit me with it. Mm, mm,
Apple made an
mm, mm,
iPad app,
mm.
calculator app after 14 years. Everybody wanted to know why there was never a calculator on your iPad. It's been on the phone, it's been on everything else. They decided to say, hey, we got one for you. We got one for you. And if you got an Apple Pencil, you can write the equation on the calculator app and we will do it for you.
Clutch my pearls. Not a pencil. Oh my God.
So
You
you
see
take
how
the
I was look.
pencil.
You see how I was looking around for Ashton Kutcher because I thought I was being punked. You know how we have these back and forth about Apple stuff. So
Mhm.
we're coming out the gate. We're coming fresh out the box
I know how much you
with
love Apple.
with a with a what kind of app for the Apple?
The first they announced the calculator app.
A
That's big
calculator app.
news. Uh-huh.
Listen, listen.
Uh-huh.
You know, right now today, calculator app. Next stop, the moon. You mark my words, buddy. A calculator app, boy. Apple's on it.
but but
Calculator.
but this but this is not a normal calculator app. You can literally
Okay.
write an equation. You can write any type of equation you want. You can actually plug in a PhD equation on mathematics and it'll solve it for you. It'll do it all for you.
So what you're saying is I can take my brand new, stinking, fresh out the box Apple iPad
Uh-huh.
calculator app, input the Goodwill Hunting equation, and
Boom. Solve
Apple.
it. Solve it.
Okay. I mean, you know what? I tell you what, even though we have,
You can
yeah,
write
and I
it
say
in by
we,
hand.
meaning Samsung people, have had a calculator app since, I don't know, they invented wheel and the sliced bread, but that is a nice
No,
addition.
we have a calculator app on the iPhone. It's a smart calculator app, but they don't have one on the iPad. They were like, well, we
That
wanted to
just
make
doesn't make any
sure.
sense because I mean, even though I am not, and you know this, I am not an
Mm-hmm.
iPhone Apple type person. I
Mm-hmm.
do like the iPad. I think the iPad is the best tablet out there, like hands
Mm-hmm.
down. And actually my other brother, not you, you probably have one too though. My other brother just got a the brand new iPad with the I guess the M4 chip.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it's the best thing smoking. Like he's, got a little keyboard with it and said it's pretty much he said he got rid of his Surface Pro for it. And I believe it. I was like, iPad is solid. iPad and MacBooks are solid.
Yeah,
Just when it comes
yeah,
to phones, I'm
yeah.
out.
Well, with this smart app, you can actually kids can actually learn mathematics. They do long division for them. So a kid can come in and say, this is my homework equation, write it in with the Apple Pencil, it'll solve it for it in their handwriting.
So not that they can learn it, but it'll do it for them.
Well, they can do both. You can set it up to do step by step and teach the kid what's going on in the equation, or it can solve it all for them.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't sound bad. I mean, and I do
Yeah.
like the addition of the Apple Pencil where you can put in your own writing, and I mean
hmm
that's pretty slick. That's a nice upgrade right there.
hmm And
I
then
give it to you.
Apple made their biggest announcement.
Okay.
First AI system known as Apple Intelligence.
That's
So
cute. That's a cute
it
little.
is. So they boost up Siri. Now they're trying to put a language action model into it where you can tell Siri what you want or whatnot, and Siri does all the stuff for you. Like, hey Siri, I want to go to France on such and such date, blah 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 blah. And Siri's like, okay, boom 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 boom, puts everything in for you. Hey Siri, I like to see plays and I like this type of food. All right, boom boom boom, boom, makes an itinerary for you. There's a lot of things that this can actually do.
Hmm.
And it goes across all your platforms. And their biggest thing is like it's a personalized AI. So they say they're not letting your personal information get off the platform. So they claim.
Okay. I mean, it's easy to say that,
Yes.
and I do know that it seems, again, seems that Apple has the most secure, network, or whatever,
hmm
amongst themselves and most PC type companies. So I mean,
The
I'm not mad at that. I mean, but those are just words. I think the AI boost to Siri is interesting to me.
hmm
Um, my question would be, and I know you're incorporating Siri, but I mean, I get that from Google Gemini or even, on maybe a smaller scale, the new Chat GPT, like.
Chat GPT is a bigger model and it uses Chat GPT. So you can and it incorporates Chat GPT into all the AI systems because Chat GPT is open source. So for
Okay, so
example,
so it
uh
incorporates the actual Chat GPT, not just
mhm,
saying, like, when you used to want to like copy a paper, you say, I'm gonna get this Xerox, and that just became
mhm,
the name for getting a copy or whatever. So, but it's not their form of Chat GPT, it's incorporating Chat GPT into
in
this.
top of their AI.
Okay.
So what they do in their security, how the security is set up, Apple Intelligence comes with a big emphasis on security, as the system will automatically decide whether it needs to use an on-device processing or contact Apple's private cloud computing servers to fulfill your request. So you go into the
Mhm.
server anonymously as just like a number or something that's not randomized, and the system will be available for free and on those iPhone 15 Pro as well as iPads Max with an M1 chip or later. So it goes into this cloud system, uses it like a VPN, gets all the information and brings it back down to your phone or your computer or your
Okay. I
tablet.
mean, okay.
And and then they said the Siri did a really big push. Apple's relying on LLMs to help Siri better understand what you say and keep track of the follow-up requests and questions. So are using a large language model, and Apple's building ChatGPT into Siri. So
Okay.
you have that on top of it as well.
Okay. I mean, I like
But
it
new
from
AI,
everything you're saying so far. I mean, Apple took a big swing for the fences, and it sounds like they cleared the park.
yep. Then they did a bunch of the Android things like new AI features in mail, message, photos, and more. For example, you can
Mm,
actually write messages and write mail messages and have them time release. So they're like,
yeah,
oh, this person's way in bed, so we're not gonna send it
yeah,
to them now. We're gonna wait till the morning time
yeah. I
at
was
a
I was
decent
doing that like
hour.
2, 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
you know, photo cleanup,
Now, is
photo
this
organization,
for the Apple ecosystem, or is this all iPad specific?
all Apple ecosystem across
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
So it takes your pictures from all over. Say you've been on a trip and you say, Make a photo album, just my son. You can tell him the son's name. It'll grab all his pictures and make a photo album for you. Put music to it and everything.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, you can set it not like
Okay.
us, and then set it to the rhythm of not like us, and it'll cut things around. Yeah, it does that. Yeah.
Okay. That is the soundtrack of the summer.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. And then they had the
Yeah.
Google Magic Eraser tool where it makes suggestions on things to cut out of pictures. Like you may want to cut these things out, and you can cut them out, and it cleans up the picture for you.
Okay. Ooh. Hmm.
And
All
they can
right.
now we can customize the iOS 18, like customize how you want to put things on this front screen and the colors. I'm not going to use it, but I guess for somebody that's going wants to use that, I guess they're
Somebody
going to
going
use
to.
that.
Mm,
So I
okay.
don't know. I don't want to make all my icons red. I know my icons because I can see the color of them, not because I can read what's on the label. Because I'm old and my eyes are bad, and I don't want to read the label. Like, oh, that's Instagram. Click on it.
You know, the craziest thing about that is many eons and moons ago, I had an iPhone. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason I left iPhone and went to Samsung was customization. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the fact that I wanted to customize and make all my icons red or whatever in the hell. It's just the fact that if I wanted to, I could. And of course, we're talking on a much earlier version of the iPhone
Mm-hmm.
where they had it completely locked down.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't stand that. Just the ability to move my icons and do a lot of stuff that I wanted to do as far as customizing. iPhone wouldn't let you do it. So I left and never looked back. And
Mm-hmm.
so to hear that they've on version 18, they finally gotten around to, I mean,
Customization.
yeah, I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah. I
better
guess
late than
somebody
never, I
wants to do
guess.
it. I mean, I'm not going to do it. I don't care. I just want ease of use.
Yeah,
I
I
like
mean, but
getting iPhone.
we're at the age and we've got the little bit of maturity and wisdom on us now that a lot of stuff like that doesn't matter. Like I remember when people wanted ringtones and you had a different ringtone for everybody that called in
Yeah.
your phone and the important people to call. I don't care. My ringtone is the same. Whatever the factory default is, that's what my ringtone is right
That's
now.
what you're using. That's what you're
Don't
using.
care.
Me, me too. Me too. Me too. I'll usually have it on vibrate. I usually don't even see it ring. You know what I usually do? Look down at my
But
watch.
yeah, I mean, a lot of times I do that too.
Just look down at my
Yeah.
watch. Like, okay. I don't even gonna pick up my phone anymore. It's sitting in the corner. It's on the charger probably somewhere. I'm like, I gotta
Mm-hmm.
go and get my phone. No, let me look at my watch. And if I have my headphones on, I just click get answer and go straight to my headphones.
Mm.
It's so convenient. So convenient.
I mean, again, I have my watch, this
Yeah.
same thing. So
Yeah.
mm,
But can you grab your computer and switch over to the computer for you?
no,
Yeah,
I don't have
that's the
a
beauty. So
Samsung computer or whatever like that. So I
I
mean,
know it. I know it. That's
and
a
I
missed
guess I
opportunity for
just haven't
Samsung.
found anything that is that important and I was doing on my
Yeah. It's
phone
not nice.
that I need to switch over to my computer and immediately do it.
No,
So
you don't have to do
to
it.
me, it's not a necessity. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
now I can see, iPad to your MacBook. That makes sense to me.
hmm
But
Like
phone,
messages comes in on my iPad and on my computer, I can actually send things like images, drag and drop them in, just drag and drop. So much easier.
uh,
It's easy. You know, things like that. Um,
I mean, I guess.
the funk said I used to program quotations program in DDR songs on my Nokia with a different one for different people. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
That's back
Back
when
in
we
the
didn't have
day,
apps, before we had
yeah.
apps.
That's why everybody thought they was a dev ops or programmer because they was
hmm
customizing their MySpace. No, stop it.
And something else happened, great for Samsung users. Y'all
What's that?
finally get the blue bubble. Thank God.
Oh, clutch the
Thank
pearls.
God. Thank God.
The fact that y'all make that a big deal is
It is
absolutely
a big deal. It's
ridiculous.
such a big deal.
Yeah.
The fact that I see a link and I don't get a preview of what it is trash to me. So I'm like, which link is this? Okay, did I click the second one or the third one? Blah 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 blah. I like to see which exactly what I clicked.
don't know. All that stuff shows up on my phone, so I don't know what you're talking about. So
Yeah. Where it says
that is the
like when you
biggest that is the biggest thing. Like my kids was damn near terrorized to get rid of their Android phones, and now because they're younger and they weren't responsible enough at the time, they were not Samsungs. They were part of the regular Android ecosystem, which that is a completely different thing. Samsung and
hmm
Google are not part of. They not like us. Um,
hmm
but to get bullied because your message was a different color or something, it's just
There's a
stupid.
lot of little things in it you can't do. Like you can't edit the messages, nor can you add songs in and share play songs. There's a lot of
I
little
tell you,
things.
now that my two oldest kids have iPhones, you know what they do? And it's not about the messages. That's doesn't
Uh-huh.
even matter anymore. You know, the thing that was the biggest thing to them. The one thing that they do love to do is
FaceTime.
um no, they don't even FaceTime.
Wow.
Cause they don't even FaceTime. They like playing the games and the messages, like challenging their
Mm-hmm.
friends and with the
Mm-hmm.
games and messages. That is the one thing that I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, that is not something that was on, Samsung phones. That's pretty cool. But that is their big
Yeah.
thing. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Speaking of playing games, we can go to the games. We're gonna
Yeah,
get out
come
of
on.
the OS stuff. Summer Games Fest. Summer
Come
Games
on,
Fest
talk
is
to me.
going on.
Talk to me.
Everybody is doing their pressers. Um, one of the biggest pressers was Summer Game Fest. Jeff Neely, Keely actually did his presser. He announced Doom: The Dark Ages. I watched that one. I was like, that's another Doom game I'm not going to play because I don't have Twitch speed to play that shooter. That shooter looks hard as hell.
Now which
Um,
which which shooter?
Doom: The Dark Ages
The
is
Dark
medieval
Ages? Oh
Doom
hell
with
no.
guns and grind
Yeah.
skulls for ammo
No thank you.
fragments. I mean,
No,
I
thank
want to
you.
play it, but I just know the people that are going to play that are going to be really, really good. And it's a Twitch shooter. So it's about speed and movement. Where
Oh
people are running
yeah.
around, they shoot you dead and keep running. Like
Mm-mm.
it's a wild looking game. I give Doom its props. You're the first. You may be the greatest game for a certain number of people, but the onboarding is hard. And if you come in a month late, you are done. You're
Mm.
done. You're done. You're not going to survive in it. You're going to die in it.
The
You're going to
setting
Yeah,
die.
I
alone
just
is dope, though. It's like
Yes.
the Middle Ages Doom.
Uh-huh. In a
Yeah,
futuristic world,
yeah.
middle futuristic. Yeah.
Just
yeah, the coolest thing that I saw about it, and like I'm not a FPS type person anyway, but the
hmm
coolest thing I did see was they had a gun in a game that grinds up skulls for ammo fragments. I was like,
That's so
listen,
dope. That's so
that's
dope.
pretty awesome.
It's Doom. And I'm people like, you gonna play it? Like, nah, probably not. Cause you gotta be good to play this. I'm watching this player move and he's just moving around the field. He's doing everything. I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. The jigsaw shield he throws off, dodging lasers, and it's like you have to constantly move in this game. I have a hard time constantly moving in hell divers. Sometimes I
Hmm.
just want to, I want to stake, hold my ground and shoot a little bit for the bugs or the Borgs try to get me. But this game, I know it's constantly moving. You got to constantly move, but it looks amazing.
It did
It
look
looks
good.
amazing. It does look good. It's a really good looking game. Another game I was shocked at that came out, South of Midnight. South of
What?
McKnight. They've been trying to hire up. And it's a game
Hmm.
about the South. You play a black girl in the South trying to find her mother, and it's like a fantasy game. I'm quite excited for the
Fantasy game.
game.
Is that game that's
Yeah,
set in the swamp or the
it's set
bayou
in
or
the
something
Swamp
like that?
Bayou. Yep,
Okay.
Compulsions
I
made it.
mean,
Compul.
it looked good. I was just like, I don't understand it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, do you get to do voodoo or something, or you get to put
You
the
do all
root on
that.
somebody?
No, you do
Ah,
all you actually perform magic. It's a magic game. And you're a girl trying to find her mother in the swamp, and the swamp is infested with demons and shit. And you have to fight your way around it. It's a fantasy game.
okay,
And it's
sure.
set in the South. So I'm
All right.
quite excited about it. Compulsion, they did a PS4 launch title, a PS5 launch title,
Mm-hmm.
And they struggled with it. It was hard because it was a new platform and they're trying to figure it out. And the fact they're coming out with this game, it makes me quite excited.
Yeah, well, they got it figured out finally, I see.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah.
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 Yeah. It
The
just
game
takes
was
time.
good, has like a claymation feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's on top of right now a fish that is part demon and there's an alligator that's like an island there.
Yeah.
And she has to do stuff. She has to do basically solve a puzzle to get around the alligator.
Okay.
And the catfish is talking to her. It's really interesting. And they're supposed to cut a deal together. But I'm kind of excited about the game. I kind of want to play it, see what it's like.
It's funny in the chat. Defunct says that you're a stand your ground kind of player. He says so. He talked about the new Call of Duty and the new Gears of
Mm-hmm.
War for you.
Yeah, yeah. So that may be it. I'm both. I like rushing and running around players all day long. But in Doom, the maps are so weird and intricate that you have to pay attention to where you're going and stuff. And when somebody's shooting at me and they're in front of me, I want to just shoot at them. We're going to fight. I'm about that life. You know? Only time I want to run around you back and sneak dish you. Stab you, give you a couple of jibs in the ribs, keep
I
running,
know.
turn back around on you.
I think you play with your nephew, with my oldest son. I
Uh-huh.
don't think I played
Uh-huh.
Helldivers with you.
Uh-huh. That's why I get Laserbeak and Helldivers, because Laserbeak runs around with you. I
Mm-hmm.
let Laserbeak shoot everybody, and I turn around and shoot behind him. And keep running. You know. But sometimes I see a patrol of bugs. I want to run up on them and hold my ground.
Yeah. I did know you want to go out in a blaze of glory, so
I do. Because I ain't no punk. You know what I'm saying?
right.
The bugs are cops, and you got to put them down. No, I'm
Oh,
just messing around.
oh, okay.
uh, they had the Gears of War E-Day prequel. So Microsoft announced a Gears of War E-Day prequel. They also announced Perfect Dark, the reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Metal Gear Solid Delta trailer, which is based on Snake Eater. They announced that one today.
Okay.
That was in the Summer Game Fest. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which is exciting as well.
So
Warhammer.
here's Warhammer.
Yeah. Yeah, they announced
Okay.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
Gears of War,
it makes
baby.
sense. It makes sense for them to make a Warhammer because I know that now that Henry Cavill left The Witcher, and he doing like a Warhammer movie or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
He's
it
in
just
Warhammer
makes
movie.
sense to have the tie-in. Um,
Yep.
yeah, that makes complete sense. I know one thing that I did see some snippets of, and I have not watched everything, was that there was a lot of gameplay footage about Star Wars Outlaws
Yep. I was gonna get
and
there.
uh
Mhm.
and Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yes. They both popped up in Ubisoft's presser.
Mm-hmm.
So first, before we can get there, Bloomhouse. Bloomhouse has decided to get into
That makes the
games.
movies?
That makes the horror movies. Yes,
Yeah,
they
like
got
the
six
yeah,
games coming out at one time. They dropped
6.
6.
Are
They
they
got a
all
game for
in the
everybody.
I mean, if they're Bloomhouse, are they all in the kind of
They're all horror
shock
genres.
horror? Yeah.
No, they're different types: psychological horror, shock horror, futuristic
Oh,
horror.
but it's all horror.
They be like, we got y'all. We got, and he said, we're doing more. They're looking for small studios and projects to
Okay.
pitch horror products to them.
Okay. I bet whatever come out of their portfolio is gonna be wild.
Yeah. And Among Us, the company that created Among Us, they threw up a publisher. They're like, hey, we got an indie publisher. We're putting money into small developers to make their crafty, weird, independent games.
Okay.
There's a Quidditch game.
I did
Perfect.
see
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sounds fun.
Yes.
I haven't
They have
seen
a
any.
Quidditch game.
Yeah, I
I,
haven't seen any footage of it yet. But let me see. Oh, here's a Bloomhouse
Yeah,
right here.
yeah, there's the
I'm
Bloomhouse
you know,
games.
I'm actually I'm actually super surprised that nobody has really cashed in on the Harry Potter fervor around Quidditch
There it
until now.
is.
Like it's weird that it's taken this
Yeah.
long to get that off the ground because ever since the very first movie came out, and the books were big before that, but ever since the movie came out and people got to see it, like that's been a big deal in the Harry Potter community and for kids around the world.
You
So
know, they
There,
actually
there's
have
they have
Quidditch
the quit
games
that
in
Quidditch,
real
the Quidditch
life.
games in real life here.
Yeah,
yeah, I've okay, so I've
that's what I'm
heard
saying.
about
It's
them
so
like at
cool.
Ren fairs and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't know how
Yeah.
serious it is. I mean, because to be honest, there's a lot of people that are creating games now and trying to make them something. It's
Yeah.
the all new round of basketball. Everybody wants their new thing that they created in their driveway to become pickleball. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I
But
can
Quidditch, they
see, I can see
uh,
if they do this right, they could actually make an esport out of this,
yes.
and you would get a lot of people to watch.
Yes, you would. You would. Has to be
that's
really
interesting.
good.
Yeah,
It has to be Rocket League on
yeah,
steroids.
right. But it
Yeah.
looks fun. It looks
So is
fun.
that
I'm like,
is
God damn,
was
I'd
the
play.
Quidditch game, is that a console game?
It is a console game. Mm-hmm. Console PC. Um, what else do they have before we move on? Batman
One thing
Arkham Shadows.
I was just about to ask you about that because I saw a snippet, and I don't know, I guess it wasn't a meme, but I saw where they were showing the footage of Arkham Shadows, and the guy was like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, 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 yes. And at the very end, they show, exclusive or whatever on the
On
Meta
Quest.
Quest 3. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, no. And I was like,
Yep.
and when I saw it, I was like, dang, I'm gonna have to go on and break down and get me a Meta Quest 3. Like I wanted a Meta Quest for a while, and I was like, I might have to
Yep.
get it for that because it looked good.
Yeah. He's facing Rat King in it. It's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to play it. That's a first party game. That's on the other side of the building. We don't talk to
Mm-hmm.
them. We're not allowed to talk to
Oh,
them. So,
okay.
yeah, it's interesting. I'm really excited about it.
Looks good.
It does look good.
It did look good.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Yep.
you see that? Did you see any footage or see that? The throwback Mighty Morphin Power Rangers brawler.
Oh man, that looks amazing. I am so on for that one. I think it may be all of them, but it looks
Uh-huh.
amazing.
My question is though, it's so crazy that to me it's the timing of the game because Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is just about like on their last breath. Like since they I guess canceled or whatever the last series that
Mm-hmm.
was on Netflix. I guess it came out last year, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I heard that they were supposed to be doing like some kind of reboot or something like that, but the timing of this game is like, why is the game coming out now?
I don't know. Whoever they got the license from did a great job. 5-person beat 'em up. I'm thinking turtles. Like, turtles in time. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Well, and maybe that'll bring a resurgence to the Power Rangers because
Mm-hmm.
there was a distinct amount of time there that I got into the Power Rangers because that was past my time. I was, but my
Yeah, the
kids were
adult.
into the Power Rangers, so now I know all about the Power Rangers up until like maybe the last couple seasons.
He said, the funk said Hasbro's the current IP owner of the Power Rangers, but not Super Sentai, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
think I think that's
Hasbro
what
was
I was
like,
hearing.
hey,
That one of the reasons why they canceled the last series that came out is because it's pulled a Game of Thrones where there are no more Super Sentai series for them to pull from and create the American version of it. So at this point, they start from scratch anyway. So
oh, that's probably what it is then.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. Well, I'm excited for that. It has me excited. Um, and then Street Fighter made some announcements. First announcement was SNK's Terry Bogard and Mai Shirai headline Street Fighter 6 Year 2 DLC. So now we have SNK fighters in Street Fighter. I'm pretty sure people are
Hmm.
gonna be quite excited about that. The brief teaser started with Luke and Jamie playing a video game together while a mysterious figure wearing a white shirt and red vest approaches the building and they're in. From there, Terry, Mai, and a Street Fighter veteran, Ilana M. Bison were also confirmed for the next content pack. So they're bringing M. Bison back in the Street Fighter 6. I'm pretty sure that has everybody excited. Bison's the shock in his own right as the Street Fighter canon. He was believed to be dead. So everybody thought he was dead at the beginning of Street Fighter 6, and he's coming back.
Mm.
They should make it
Okay.
evil M. Bison.
Well, I'm okay with that. I
Mhm.
saw a I guess a snippet for the new Street Fighter,
Yeah,
and they were showing Kuma, but they were
yeah.
showing like different variations of Kuma and
Hmm.
like the demon Kuma, and I was like, that it looked damn
Akuma
good. And
looks good.
I've never been a super strong Street Fighter person, and I'm not gonna blame it on Claude Van Damme in that terrible movie, but I mean, it might have been there. I kind of lost interest in Street Fighter and became more interested in Mortal Kombat. So I don't know what happened there, but it did look Kuma looked damn
Yeah.
good. Like
Yep.
what I've seen, little snippets, it looked really good.
Yep. It did look really good. I was excited to see it. Um, and I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be interesting. Street Fighter. I own Street Fighter and I play and I suck, so I don't play too much. This is like I don't have the motor skills for these fighting games. For
Mm-hmm.
Mortal Kombat, I kind of do, but the other ones, man, they're tough. These half circles are killing me.
Mm,
These half circles kill me. Speaking of that, the one of the bigger game announcements you brought them both up. We're gonna start with
mm-hmm.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Okay.
Star Wars Outlaws is the first. It is the first open world Star Wars game.
I cannot wait.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm quite excited about it. At first, I wasn't like, mm. I'll wait about a month or two. It'll be on sale. It's Ubisoft. Ubisoft games go on sale after the first month, and then I was like, this is kind of looking good, actually. I'm kind of impressed. I'm really impressed about this.
when they showed it, it wasn't that long ago when they showed it.
Hmm.
And what impressed me was I was like, okay, the first thing I saw, I was like, well, of course it's gonna look good. This is all cutscene. But
Uh-huh.
when they showed it, it looked almost the same during actual gameplay. I was like, oh, hold on.
Hmm.
This looks promising. Like,
Yeah.
this looks good.
I'm really curious about the story around this, right? Because it's not in Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And you are a scoundrel. You're a scoundrel
Yeah, so
running the
you're
galaxy.
more Han Solo
Han
than,
Solo than
you know,
anything
yeah,
else. Yes.
I'm okay with that.
So I kind of know what that's like and what happens when you run into Jedi, when you run into Sith, and when you
But that
run
makes
into
it
all
more
the.
interesting. I mean, because they just gave us, even though it wasn't open world, they just gave us the what, Jedi Survivor games or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so if that's the case, they gave us that already. So instead of, unless you was gonna give us a full out Sith game, which, yes, please, um,
Uh-huh.
to go the scoundrel route and go, this, I guess a young female Han Solo, where she gets to deal with the underworld and all that type of
Uh-huh.
stuff, and that sounds interesting to me. That's
I told everybody would makes this game look better than other games and other characters. She got a critter instead of a droid. And I'm all
mm-hmm.
here for the critter. I'm all here for the critter. The critter got it for me. It was like, oh, they didn't give her a droid, they actually gave her a creature. Oh my God, that sounds way better than these droids they
But that
always give
makes
these
sense.
people.
I mean, because
Uh-huh.
Han Solo had, not a critter, but he had Chewbacca. He didn't have a droid.
Yeah, he didn't have a droid. And she's like, I don't have a droid neither. I got me a critter, and the critter's your sidekick the whole entire time. I'm down with that. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that's interesting to talk with the pike, and they make some cameos of some really good characters that are out here in the scoundrels and whatnot. I'm like, okay, so it's set in the Star Wars world, but it's not quite a Skywalker game, thank God. So I'm all on board
I'm
on
sick.
this.
I don't want to hear no more about the Skywalker family.
No man, we got a whole ton of stuff probably for that coming soon. Watch.
Yeah, I'm good. And more they can leave out the Skywalker
But
family, I'm good.
the fact you got a vehicle, you ride around open world, you go to Tatooine, go to other planets. Is they did something that Starfield didn't do well, is like ship battles. There's ship battles and stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of sold on this. I'm kind of sold on this. Like it doesn't feel like it's on rails at all,
Hmm.
which
It
is
looks
brilliant.
really good.
It looks really
It
It
good.
looks
does.
They
really
show
good.
other creatures. There's other critters
Yeah.
in the world. That sounds amazing. That looks
When is
amazing.
that supposed to drop?
Star Wars. That's a good question.
It's soon.
I think it's October, right?
It's
It's
soon.
soon.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's not. It's
Uh-huh.
not far away. It's soon.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but it is definitely soon.
Yeah.
I want to say, I
And,
think it's
the other thing
October.
too is she's played by a Latina, so
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
she is Latina in the universe, and
Okay.
the voice actress is
Listen,
Latina. So
the more
Yeah.
chances for the Sofia Vergara's of the world to get into outer space, I'm for it.
Wow. Wow, you just made them all
Yes.
Sofia Vergara's? I don't think she talks
I,
like Sofia Vergara. I think she talks more like Penelope Cruz.
hey, listen, the more of them we can get
Or
into space,
J-Lo.
listen.
She talks more like J-Lo.
No,
August
no,
30th.
Y'all
It's
some of J-Lo
August
haters.
August 30th.
no,
That's when it comes out.
no. That's
August
Ben's
30th. August
problem.
comes in August.
I'm just saying
Yes,
that's like 5
make
days after
her a
my
young
birthday.
Salma Hayek. I never stop playing that game.
Nobody would. But yeah, so that game's coming out. Open world, first Star Wars open world game. I'm quite excited for it.
Yeah, I'm for it.
And then they came right back around. Ubisoft came back around and said, "Hey, we got 2 more open world games. Y'all didn't know. We got Pandora. You know, we got Avatar, and we got Pandora. We're gonna show y'all some more of it." And then they said, "Hey, what y'all think about this Assassin's Creed over here? This is what's popping in the streets. Assassin's Creed. And you can play as 2 characters. 2. We got a Shinobi, and you can play as her, and she sneaks around. Then you can play as Yasuke, where you go through and just whoop shit's ass. And you can switch anytime you want to switch between them.
Now I'm excited about that because for one, the switching between them anytime you want to switch is reminiscent. It reminds me of Spider-Man 2, where you could switch between Peter and Miles at any time.
Uh-huh.
I like that. I think, the elephant in the room is all the controversy of having Yasuke in the Assassin's Creed game has brought.
Oh man, don't get me started. Racists say all kinds of crazy things online. I read a tweet today saying, "Hey, I don't care if he was black in real life. Y'all should have made him white." That was the actual tweet, and
Which actually
it had
makes
about.
0 sense because
Uh-huh.
I mean, if we're talking about feudal Japan, there wasn't no white people over there anyway.
They don't care. It's not see Rakai,
Yeah,
you're trying to
you're
put
right.
logic to
Yeah,
something that is completely illogical.
you're right.
Brian, I don't think these are Russian trolls. I think these are people right out of Santee, California, Bakersfield, Kentucky.
Right off of
I think
8th Mile.
they right out here, and they're in the middle of Michigan and Minnesota, Iowa, North Dakota. I think these are
And they
people
have a
right there.
very
Yeah.
familiar red hat on, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, some of them are way beyond that. They think that's too
Oh,
liberal.
that's
That's
saying
too
something.
liberal. They think that's too liberal. What are you talking about?
The thing
Uh,
is, what I enjoy, what I like is that
uh-huh.
Ubisoft stuck with their guns and like, no, this is what we going with. Because I mean, even when they probably got to working on this, they had to probably start hearing the rumbling because, the interweb is crawling with all sorts of people that's dropping the T all the time. So I
Oh,
like
they
the
didn't
fact they
care.
stuck with the
They didn't
guns and said,
care.
no, this is what we putting out. You don't like it, don't buy it.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. Have you played this game? You know what this game's about? It's about
I mean, I know what
alien
the game is.
technology that sends people back in time to change the timeline of their families.
Yeah.
Everybody's a fake character, but a handful of historical figures that pop up in the game.
However, they did get away from that in Mirage a bit. And I don't know. I really I think I have every Assassin's Creed game, or at least I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was huge. I liked Origins. I loved Odyssey. I loved what was the one out there, Valhalla or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I did not like Mirage. And I know they said we were getting back to our roots and more, skullduggery and sneakery and I stealth, and I didn't like it. It was boring.
Mm.
So I hope that there is a balance. Because I mean, there's some points of the game that were good, but if there was a balance where you give me a little bit of that and maybe a little bit more of what we had in like Odyssey or maybe in Valhalla, then this game would be fantastic. But,
Yeah, like I tell everybody, all this is fictional. I mean,
of
the
course.
fact they're using space alien technology
Hmm.
from an Earth that's kind of blown up, I think, is really more weird too. So I'm like, this is just the interwebs complaining. They're
And
mad.
even
They're
though
like,
it's not, and even though it's not connected, the fact that I mean, this is a wonderful time to go ahead and drop a game like this and get your coin after recent years, big interest in Samurai and
mm-hmm,
Shinobi and stuff like the Shogun series that was just on TV
yep,
earlier this year, and Ghost of Tsushima came out of nowhere and killed it a couple years ago. So
yep.
so while you waiting on part two of that or whatever, go on and be the bridge until people are,
And what makes it bad
mm,
is Ubisoft. Rumor is Ubisoft did a really good model of Yasuke. So this is what Yasuke looks like.
uh-huh.
And it's so funny. People are like, maybe they shouldn't have had a black samurai in it anyway. They shouldn't have just delete him from history. And I read another tweet that's
Delete
saying,
him from history. That sounds.
I read another one saying we give black people too much. They give us too
He was
much.
actually in history. How you not giving him anything?
Not giving us anything. He was really there, but that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. The internet's be working. Trolls are trolling all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
Stupidity is, the internet is
they want
its
it's not
kingdom.
even stupid. I want everything. So I know you're right, but I doesn't mean I'm not gonna cry about it. I usually get what I want if I cry about it. If I caring up about it, I usually get what I want, even
Uh,
though it's wrong.
the male Karens. This is they time to
Yeah,
shine.
it
The
is. It
male
is. It is.
Karens.
It is. It is. But speaking of
Uh,
samurai stuff, we're gonna brighten on this story.
Come on.
Seven Samurai gets a 4K restoration
Ooh,
headed to
ooh.
theaters. So Akira Kurosawa's black and white epic Seven Samurai is coming back to theaters with a new 4K restoration.
Is that everywhere? Because listen, I'll go get my ticket tomorrow. Where is that?
The 4K restoration debuts at the Cannes Film Festival earlier this year in New York. The movie will open in Film Forum on July 5th in Los Angeles. The premiere will be July 7th at the Egyptian Theater here in LA, with an opening at Limley Royal July 12th. I'm not sure if it's going to open world nationwide, but it may. The fact they got a 4K resolution, I'm so excited. I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna
I'm
go see it.
mm,
It looks
I
beautiful.
mean, I don't think anybody has ever seen it in a theater. I mean,
No,
probably some
no.
people, but like none of us have, right?
none
I
of
always
us.
saw it
No,
on DVD.
nobody's
Mm-mm.
born in the 80s.
Right?
Nobody's
Yeah.
not. Nobody's born in the 70s. If you're born
So
1970 and after,
Oh,
you
take
ain't
it
seen
back. I
this.
did see it in film class at school, but that wasn't really. That might have been off of a DVD too. So
Yeah.
but to
yeah,
see a 4K
yeah,
version
in the
in
theater.
the theaters, oh
Mm-hmm.
my God. Like,
Yep. It's gonna be interesting. I'm really excited for it. Excited for Akira Kurosawa. He's one of my favorite filmmakers. And the
mm-hmm,
film that I choose that I fell in love with has nothing to do with any of the films that are really popular with people. My film is Ikiru, and I just love that film. I love everything about that
mm-hmm.
film. It makes everybody have an existential crisis.
Ron is the one I think I saw first.
Yeah.
Ron.
Was it? Mm. I think he did. Akira Kurosawa does amazing films.
He does. People have no idea. They're not even hip to, the Criterion Collection and, Kurosawa. Like,
Mhm. That's the Funk's collection. The Funk will
the
buy
Funk
those
says
on
that,
Blu-ray.
yeah, the Funk says that USA Today has a long list of theaters that this will come out to.
Yeah, longer list of theaters. Yeah, he said it seems it won't necessarily be a mainstream theater unless they get announced a later date. Hopefully,
Well,
it
I mean,
does.
well, I know that means it's not coming here, so
It may. You never know. It
nah,
may. You
it
may
ain't.
find it somewhere. Find your
It
independent
ain't.
theater and ask your independent theater. Y'all have a couple of them.
We do, but they're not getting it. Nothing comes here.
It may. It may. I mean, the stuff goes to Lexington. Lexington gets the stuff. Kentucky Theater plays all kinds of independent stuff.
I don't know. It should come here, but it probably won't.
I remember something independent was playing at Kentucky Theater, and I wanted to take Randy, but he wants to see mainstream stuff. So
Mm.
he was like, I don't want to care to go see that. It was some movie. It was like I was like, wow, it's here in Kentucky Theater. Let's go see it. Check it out. I think I went by myself or with somebody. It was a long time ago. But with that being said, Rakai, anything you want to share with the people?
No, just man, I don't often get a chance to get on GeekBeast. So, you usually see me on Wednesday nights on Binge Worthy, and unfortunately, we're not gonna have a show this week. We will be back on Binge Worthy next week, either after GeekBeast or just at our normal scheduled time at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. But no, I'm just glad to be on here too with you two
Yeah,
wonderful
man.
gentlemen talking the
Yeah.
talk. I love this stuff,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm
We'll
glad
have
to
to
be
have you
here.
on more often. Boot the other guy off. Boot that other guy off. May have you on here more often. Uh Shouts out to Digital Click for always doing our marketing assets for us. Shouts out to the Font for curating all our stories for us. Shouts out to Rodney for being a great technical producer and technical director and chiming in from time to time. I love it when Rodney chimes in. I try to
Yeah,
goad him to chime in, but sometimes he doesn't want to. He's like, I don't got nothing to say to y'all.
I know. I'm gonna find a way somehow, some way to have actually Rodney be on the show.
Just
I know
pop
he
up on the
shows up on Pod
screen.
Squadron. I know he shows up on Pod Squadron
I know
from
it,
time to
right?
time again, but
That
to see
was
Rodney's
we had
face,
to.
he
We
just.
didn't have enough people, so I had to show up on that one.
I
See
know it
that?
was
I was
See,
something
talking
that
see,
about, and
forced
I
you
was
you.
hear that?
talking,
You
yeah.
hear that?
Yeah.
No, and we were talking about Star Wars night, and I was the one that went to Star Wars night, so it made sense for me. Well, I'm
That
working
makes
on some
sense.
stuff. I'm trying to figure out a way, yeah, and do something
Yeah.
a little different. It's not just my picture, maybe like a little avatar type of thing. We'll see. Yeah, but yeah,
You should watch
I
Bomani's podcast, and his technical director pops up in the corner from time to time and
yeah,
talks.
Yeah,
Really
see?
interesting.
figure something out. I'll figure
Yeah.
something out.
He goes, I see him in the chat. You see what he wrote in the chat?
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to work on. The funk. I'm gonna do a
Uh-huh.
VTuber.
Uh-huh.
It makes sense for Pod Squadron. For Pod Squadron, I want to come up with like a Force Ghost or like a droid
That sounds awesome,
or
actually.
something like that. So I do have the new iPhone. It does have LiDAR. So there's an Unreal Link. There's a Unreal Link component where you could do that. So that's like the main reason why I even switched over to iPhone, because I wanted to do that. So like I figure if I do that, it'll be character appropriate for every show. So
Yeah.
like maybe like binge worthy, I show up as like Max Headroom or something,
That makes sense.
something like Max Headroom from binge worthy, or Pod Squadrons like a Force Ghost, or some kind of. But yeah, we definitely try to do some kind of VTuber thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes
That would be
sense.
awesome.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then
We don't have.
we'll figure something out.
Yeah, figure out something. We don't have a show on Wednesday, you guys, but we'll be back on Friday. With Geek Beast and Happy Hour.
Ooh.
and we're gonna set up for the next Star Trek. I'm trying to catch up. It's tough. It's tough. There's so many things I'm watching right now. There's too many animes in my life right now. I gotta trim back. I gotta trim back. It's an addiction.
Well,
I gotta
I don't
stop.
know, because I think yeah, next Wednesday is Bridgerton season 3.
Yeah, Bridget
And then we're
Johnson.
gonna come back the week after that for a Star Trek series finale of Discovery. So
Yeah, I gotta watch Bridgerton season 3. I'm on season. I
yeah.
just finished season 2. I gotta
Yeah, I
start
think the
season
the
3
last
today.
part of it comes out this Thursday. So
Mm-hmm. So I gotta watch season 3 right now. I gotta start it up. And for you all that don't know, we have some other shows cooking. We'll let you know when they're about ready to launch. Finding cast is hard, so if y'all know anybody that wants to be casted on some shows, hit me up. Charles, was it Charles at the Geekish Network? I think that's right. Or Chuck at the Geekish
hmm
Network. One of them.
hmm
And hit us up on our socials and just talk to our socials. Hey, I'm interested in being a cast member, and we may ask you for an audition tape. With that being said, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you all on Friday. Peace.